Hey, good morning, CEOs. How you guys doing? I trust that you guys have had a great weekend starting Monday. This is April 14th, 2025. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Know me and my wife, we were busy. Most of you guys know her from our business channel, Rooted Vines, and we have been out in the market at various pop-up events, and we had two, both Saturday and Sunday, and they were very well received. Just getting that flow of being back out in the community and being service, and that's kind of like what my session is today. What we or I called thinking about it this morning after I got in my 20-20-20 formula, my 20-minute workout, 20-minute reflection, meditation, and 20 minutes of growth. What I'm learning, and it's really hard when you have a full-time job as administrative officer, you have your own business also that can be very busy, and then finally doing the thing on YouTube. You have to have that balance, that flow. So this week, leading up to, I think, our second, and I believe many pop-up shops or events that we'll be doing this year in 2025, just establishing that natural flow of things and how this year will be going for us, and how I see that YouTube has helped us better serve our community, because we serve, me and my wife, we serve a virtual community and building that. And also, it helps with us growing our business. And I wanted to go over that a little bit with you guys and tell you kind of like how we are embracing YouTube as a platform, and how it has helped us to align our businesses, just keeping that natural flow. Again, I do my sessions in the morning. I try to have about a 15-20 minute session, really to dig in to how I want to have things happening for us. So, some of the things that I do throughout the week as we're planning what's coming up, how we're going to do things. Normally, sit down with my wife, we go over our calendar, we talk about our finances, we talk about the products that we're going to be getting in. You guys know, if you've been watching the news, and if you receive product in from other countries, namely China, I think it's our 125 to 145% tariffs that have gone into place. So guess what they've done? They've enacted the same uh, um, tariffs on those of us that live here in America. So it's been kind of really interesting, to depending on what you already have as far as inventory, and then what you need to get. Looking at other vendors, other farmers, and that's what we've learned, had some great opportunities of doing, is seeing other people in our local community that help us. Here's how that impact is done. When you begin to find other vendors, and this is what YouTube is great about, because you can just type in vendors in your area, or businesses of certain products that you use that they make right here in your, sometimes in your own backyard. And it's just amazing that that has come about for us. It allows us to connect and not only serve others with our product, but also to receive from those vendors that, quite frankly, we did not know, because we were going to other sources to get our product and our services, the materials, those raw materials that we need to do the things that we do with herbal organic teas. And that's what myrootedvines.com is all about. Also, my wife has done more, doing more collaborations. I think it's her and four others who will be doing a tea, a book, and as well as a spoken word at an artistic fusion business. And we've been collaborating with them. We've been in business for 2 years, going on. for. But that is something else that we're pulling together: bigger events, bigger opportunities for ourselves as well as others, and getting and knowing the surrounding community within um, the county that we live. But sometimes they're coming from other counties and joining us. I think while we're out at our event yesterday, we had, well, first she had two people purchase tickets, and then we had another one that purchased tickets. So her and everyone are putting this collaboration together. So that's where, for myself, as CEO 369 Consulting, that's what I enjoy because I get to join in on that participation of putting events together with my wife. Also, just being a server, whether serving the teas, whether it's helping others when we're out doing our events, just having conversation. Man, you learn so much from many people. The event on Saturday was amazing. It's right down the road from where we live at this huge church, and people came in. It was on a major intersection, so people would just pull in, and we got a chance to socialize. I mean, we had to be there at 9 a.m., so we had to get up between 6 or 7. And again, right down the road, but you have to check your inventory. I had to put the tent out the day before, let it, we had a different top on it, so I had to take that one off, put the new one, the one we normally use on, just let it breathe. When you things have been put away for a while, sometimes it can have that smell or odor. So we didn't want things to be musty, and we just wanted things to be fresh. Checked our inventory, seen what we want to do, load it up. It was a great time, and then this is why I believe when you're out there, you learn so much. And that's what YouTube does. Here I am having a conversation. I'm doing my recording, but this conversation will then get posted and it will go out. And that conversation will, people will view it, people will comment, people will like it, people will share it. These are the things that we're learning to do from YouTube. We're applying it to our business, we're applying it to our everyday life, whether it's in your personal life, also whether it's in your professional life. It's so funny. I put this shirt on, and one day, people just by wearing this shirt where it says "Grumpy Old Vet," they were like, "What's this?" The one guy asked me, he goes, "What? Which branch of government did I serve in?" And it's just started a conversation, just showing that, someone recognized that I was a veteran based on the shirt that I wore. So those are the type of things that start conversations that can lead into some very, very good conversations. And you end up seeing that same person in your community. And this, what I see within YouTube, that power of alignment. you know you learn to let things flow naturally. That's just part and parcel. Sometimes people will, instead of saying speaking to their neighbors, sometimes you'll just simply wave or nod your head. That's a sign of letting things flow naturally. But as you get to know your neighbors, then the conversation can start. That's what I mean by letting things flow naturally, especially in your business journey. Sessions, event yesterday. Oh, just amazing. It's so crazy because it's over by some really nice apartments. So as we get out there between 8 or 9 o'clock on Sunday, start setting up, we have a flow that we developed in how we naturally set up, before we bring our product out, making sure we have the right number space, making sure that, we have everything unloaded from the car. Then by putting up the tent, tables, you guys already know the drill if you have this type of business. And then begin to put your product out. And then you see those first mornings of people that are coming through. People sometimes that are getting out just for a walk or taking their dog for a walk or just begin to socialize. And of course, yesterday was Sunday, and there was another church that was right in the park area, and people were going into that. So that's just a natural flow thing. So it helps us to get ourselves in that natural state, or where you don't have to make it seem like it's forced, but it just flows well. So as things start letting out, and the business is it's called Line Creek Brewery, and they have just like a really open air area where they're fresh, where they have fresh food in there. They have an ice cream parlor in there. They have a variety of different businesses with inside of this building, and then it's just a natural setting. It's a church let out, beautiful weather out, so people came out, and there was some amazing connections that were had. It allowed us to not only just promote our business, but to promote the other vendors that were out there with their services. We met a young lady that we got to know. She does the face painting for the kids, and it was just nice to see. She literally had a line of little ones that wanted their face painted, and the patients that come with that, both for the parents, also for the children. But then we would just have some just easy flowing conversations with our clients or our customers that came and saw us for the different teas and the explanation. I've even got better in understanding the variety of different teas, whether you have your green teas, just like your jasmine teas, or you might have your chamomile teas, and what the properties of each one of these teas offer up your hibiscus havens, or, white pomegranate, which is a white tea. And then we have one that's called butterfly pea. Now, this tea is naturally blue once it's, put in your cup and steamed and you let it set. But if you add a lemon to it, sometimes it turns like pink or purplish color, depending on the amount. And that was, one of our best sellers. I mean, we ran out a lot, like the old steady one, the black tea, your English breakfast tea, that one, both bags as well as loose leaf, but that went very quickly. Uh, and it was just great. Just sometimes the conversation, this mother and daughter, they came from the church, got to meet uh, the daughter's husband, and then their two children. She was she performed in The Lion King, that went around the world. And it was just good to hear her story and just have almost like similar conversations with lifestyles and things that we did. Met another young lady that has just natural herbs that she does. So sometimes the conversations, we would have people standing there, but the conversations would get so in depth in depth with both either my wife or even myself. Another gentleman, Tony, he wanted to exchange numbers, just to connect outside of business, and it was just really good. He said my voice sounded like I was a sports announcer because we got talking sports. I had my baseball cap on, Seattle Seahawks, and he's so funny. I went to extend his hand, then he saw my cap. He pulled back and said, "Oh, I don't think I can shake hands with a Seattle Seahawk." And I was like, "Oh, let me guess, you're a Dallas Cowboy fan." And he said, "Yeah." My wife just looked like, "How do you know that?" And it's just, sometimes fans, and you make a choice. I just made that decision, but by the end of the time, I gave him my number, and we're gonna connect outside of another day. So that was just really great. But again, when you have that natural flow, you tend to, when you think about the behind the scenes, especially for creators, entrepreneurs, high level operators, what are those things you need to have in order to move in success with the success that you want? You know what I mean? You know, do you have all your containers? Do you have all of your tools, the covers for the tables, to ensure that the wind doesn't blow your tin away? Do you have the weights? Do you have all of your decor for your tables, depending on what your business is? Are you ensuring that you're smiling, providing warmth and welcoming into your business, whether it's a brick or mortar or if you're doing an event? Uh, do you have that sense that, people are drawn to you just naturally? Sometimes you have to give it before people will give back to you. You know, my three are honor, love, and respect. That's what I pour into my business. So I make that environment as friendly as possible so that people naturally want to do business with us. You know, buy our product, exchange their money, tap their card or wallet or their phone. I mean, the way people transact nowadays, whether they use their watch, whether they use their phone, whether they use credit card, whether they use cash, it's just amazing. I mean, because we have moved into just newer levels, and then like my mentor says, when you own your morning, you will elevate your life. And I truly believe that that is the case. Some unexpected things that we learned, like on Sunday, Saturday, they didn't have like waste receptacles or garbage cans. So we had to ensure that going out to the Sunday event, you had your plastic bags so you can not only clean up for yourself, but clean up in the community area because things can people drop stuff. So you just want to always make sure that your areas and sometimes those of others are taken care of. On Saturday, we met an older couple. It's funny, I drive by their home every day when I go to work, and it wasn't until the wife first, her name was Becky, and then John at the end, because it was at the church, they had a bunch of coffee, and she went around and she served just pretty much all of the vendors, seeing if they wanted a cup of coffee, talk about the Easter program that was going to be happening at that church. But it was just well received, and they want us to do it more often over at that church. So I thought that was super, super great. So, but YouTube, as you build your content, you can share those things. I'd like to be able to give other ideas to other content creators. Uh, Ideas to small as well as large, because truly when I look at the growth of my YouTube channel, I'm just really grateful that people stop by, they watch the video, they give me responses, they provide a comment, they provide likes, they do share my videos, and then I get others that do tap in. You know, three ways that I see that YouTube has helped both me and my wife, both in our business as well as what our personal goals is. The first thing is visibility to the right people. And by what I mean by that, some people connect with our YouTube channel, Rooted Vines, more so than I would say over here. So my wife maintains that channel as well as our social media, our website. She's improved that, which, I had a chance to set out and look because I took Friday off. So I was just relaxed mode because I knew we had these two events. And then also, you begin to get this trust, and you also have an authority that you build because what you're bringing, like CEO 369 Consulting, I very much want to build that relationship of trust, build that relationship of the air of authority in the area that I work in, combining my personal and my professional life so that when I retire from the federal service, government, I can take that and bring it into this. So it almost does that magically. So viewers, what they begin to do is they see your face, they hear your voice, and they feel your energy, and that's a big thing that we have to be willing. Whether we record, we schedule it, we make shorts, we make longs, restreams, it's just a phenomenal way. And a lot of times, guess what happens? You get that real time feedback, from the people and the community dialogue. Like when we're out yesterday, I think towards the end, I gone down to the car to take some things that, like my jacket and a few other things like from my lunch, put those away. And when I came back, my wife was having a conversation with a young lady who, whoa, at 43 years old, she had just had a baby, so she was looking for some things, and my wife, we found some product for her, but she, as we were packing up, she was still there just having a conversation. It was like we were having my wife's a psychologist, but it felt like we were having a session with her. But we just encouraged her because she had older children, but then she had a little one that's 2 years old at 43. Can you believe that? That would be, anyway, you raise it the best you can. That's what I say. But her husband had given her the time just to let her hair down, to get out, enjoy the weather, while he and probably the other children watched the newborn. So that was great having conversation with her. So, other ways, evergreen contact, videos, working for you basically 24/7 long, uh, that help you hit right after you hit the upload. That's a great thing that is done. You know, Also, learning to lead without pitching. People inquire because you're offering genuine value. That's another reason why I like YouTube, because that helps us when we're out there. Sometimes I think about the things that I've talked about for the week or in the past, depending on who the customer is, that helps me to uh, build that relationship. And that's a big thing. Relationship, especially within YouTube or other social medias, as well as in your business, is a great. Now, what happens is that your brand uh, identify becomes solid. Your voice, your vibe. I said I had a message just in my last video, I believe, and your message is clear, both online as well as offline. So the invitation to flow is, it begins with you. This is what I want to leave you guys with. You don't have to overthink it. Just start showing up. Like I say again, April is already damn near in the bag. By the time 6 days goes past by here, it is going from April 14th. Next time, throughout this week, it'll be 15th, 16th, 17th into the weekend, 19th and 20th. By next Monday, it'll be 21st. Basically, leaving just a few more days before we hit the best month of the year. That's my month. That's the year I was born in the month of May. And so that's when we'll probably start getting out our spray fans because it gets hotter. I think it was only 73, but boy, you could feel that sun on us yesterday. Also, finally, you know, I I tend to like to share the behind the scenes, why we're doing what we're doing, why I do Consulting 369, why we started our Rooted Vines YouTube page, and getting involved with herbal teas, getting back to nature. What's our journey? That's what I tell you guys. This is my journey behind it and how it came about. Again, just learning over a course of period of time, just to feel that when I depart from my career within the government, that I have something that I can just hop right into. To me, I feel like it's a vehicle. It's like I'm working on a car with consulting, with Rooted Vines, with day trading. These are all different vehicles that I'm jumping into, and I'm getting the feel of them to know how I really want to take care of myself and my wife when the transition happened, our children, our grandchildren, our friends, our other family members. These are really, really good. Now, YouTube serves as a bridge for me, not just a billboard, but where traffic can freely go back and forth. And so when I go out into the community in the real world, I see that bridge in my life so I can have that back and forth and share. You know, Basically, simply this, as I close, this quote came to mind: growth doesn't always come from grinding, sometimes it comes from alignment. And YouTube helped us align with those that were meant to have better service provided to them. And that's what we hope that we do. But that being said, about to hit the showers, get ready for my work day, and I hope that you guys have a phenomenal day yourselves. But like I say again, get out there, check out some of those summer open markets. Whether you have a business, whether you have something you created as an entrepreneur, as a high level operator, begin your networking journey. Again, honor yourself so you can honor others. love yourself. And you will learn to love others. And then respect yourself first. And that respect will overflow to others. And again, my mentor, Robin Sharma, would say, when you own your morning, you will elevate your life. You guys have a phenomenal day. We'll talk soon. Bye.